What's up, everyone? Welcome to the May 28th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. Use the code Awesemo, and you receive one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You also receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100 on that deposit. We have a 6-game MLB slate tonight on DraftKings. As usual, we're going to take a look at 3 of the top tournament options, 3 of the top tournament stacks, and 3 of the top tournament pitchers, using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Awesemo.com website. Starting with the top 3 stacks. Number 3, the New York Mets projected for 6% ownership, 10% chance of being the top scoring stack, and a 6% chance of being the top value stack. They have a relatively difficult matchup tonight against Zach Eflin. Eflin has a 23% strikeout percentage and a 3.3 xFIP so far this season, but the Mets have also been one of the best teams in baseball with a 120 WRC+. They have a 146 ISO, but there is some power and speed in this lineup. So a pretty high upside spot despite a mediocre matchup against Eflin. Number 2, the Toronto Blue Jays taking on Michael Lorenzen tonight in Los Angeles. Lorenzen has only struck out 17.9% of hitters this year with a 4.18 xFIP. Toronto's been not as good offensively as we expected, only a 97 WRC plus and a 147 ISO, but they're projected for 8% ownership with an 11% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 7% chance of being the top value stack. And number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Feels like we've been going to them constantly for about a week now. I don't expect tonight to be any different as they take on Merrill Kelly in Arizona. Kelly is a decent pitcher, 20.3% strikeout percentage, 4.13 xFIP this year, but doesn't miss a ton of bats. And the Dodgers just have power top to bottom in this lineup. They're projected for about 12% ownership with an 18% chance of being the top scoring stack. They have a 121 WRC plus and a 178 ISO so far this season. Now, looking at the top 3 pitchers, number 3, JT Brubaker, $8,000 price tag, taking on the San Diego Padres. The Padres have basically been a league average offense this year, 97 WRC plus, 22.1% strikeout percentage. Brubaker's only projected for 4% ownership right now, 16% chance of being a top 2 pitcher, 13% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. Even if that ownership projection does come up a bit, there's plenty of room for error there with the way things look right now. Brubaker so far this year has struck out 24.9% of hitters with a 4.09 xFIP. Number 2, Tony Gonsolin, $9,100, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Gonsolin is projected for about 8% ownership with a 17% chance of being the top scoring, a top 2 pitcher, and an 8% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. Gonsolin's thrown at least 90 pitches and gone 6 innings in each of his last 2 starts. He has a 24.3% strikeout percentage this year and a 3.81 xFIP, taking on the Diamondbacks, who have a 104 WRC+, but also a 24.5% strikeout percentage. And number 1, Logan Gilbert, in a very difficult matchup against the Houston Astros. Houston only has a 19.5% strikeout percentage with a 115 WRC+ so far this season, but Gilbert has the second highest strikeout percentage on the slate behind Garrett Cole. He has struck out 26.2% of hitters, 3.58 xFIP, behind Garrett Cole. No, actually, I misspoke. He does have the highest strikeout percentage on the slate. Cole is not on the DraftKings slate tonight. So the 26.2% strikeout percentage from Gilbert is the highest on the slate. Makes up for the bad matchup, at least in terms of a ceiling. Gilbert is projected for about 14% ownership with an 18% chance of being a top 2 pitcher, 26.2% strikeout percentage so far this year for Gilbert. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks on DraftKings: number 3, the New York Mets; number 2, the Toronto Blue Jays; number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers; and the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, JT Brubaker; number 2, Tony Gonsolin; and number 1, Logan Gilbert.